Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I am a healer posting spiritual content here intended to serve you in your journey of spiritual growth and evolution. And today's reading is intended to do just that. We're going to ask Spirit, what do you want to talk to us about today? What wisdom, what insight, what perspectives do you have to share with us today? And we've got an overall energy of sacred revolution. Beautiful. Oh, nice. And sacred revolution talks about, as a metaphor, it would be, not shifting chapters, but ending one book and starting another. So this is Spirit wanting to talk about change, revolution. I feel like what's happening on a global scale in terms of like the global awakening process and how that is a process of revolution. And then with the center here, the obsidian in the center is speaking to our space and our place within that. And you see how there's layers. There's us, and then there's a upside down triangle, which is feminine energy. And then there's levels here. There's circles, and then there's that big shape here, which represents the fort. So that would be the world. So there's a lot of levels here. But also Spirit is saying there's a lot of protection between where we are, what we're open to receiving, and then the dynamics going on in the world. Like buffers, like protection. Let's dig deeper. We've got Moon in Taurus, self-esteem, personal growth. And we've got Moon in Sagittarius, discovery, freedom, and adventure. Beautiful. Okay, I see where this is going. So, what Spirit wants to talk about is it's actually represented by the energy of Uranus in Taurus. If you follow astrology, Uranus is in Taurus doing some beautiful work, and Uranus is an energy of revolution. It is a revolutionary energy. Excuse me. Uranus is this energy of also the divine inventor, like a crazed scientist in his lab. So inventing things, revolution, and bringing shifts. It's very electrical energy. You were going in one way, Uranus energy strikes, and then you move in another way. So Uranus is working in Taurus, which is the house, the second house, which is our house of subsistence, how we provide for ourselves. It's also the house of our possessions, earning power, things like that, and also our self-esteem, how we value things, including how we value ourselves. And so in that space, there's a lot of work being done about how we earn our personal money, how we provide for ourselves, and also what we do with that money, what we buy, the possessions that we have. And so all of that in a general sense is leading towards a much more tailor-made reality. Taurus is a personal sign, so it is about earning our money in ways that serves us, in ways that are aligned with who we are, with our self-esteem, and also spending that money in ways that is in alignment with our self-esteem. And then we have Moon in Sagittarius, discovery. There's something new. There's new potentials that Spirit wants us to be open to and to be aware of. Now, astrology is a energetic language, right? Just like the tarot is, just like cards are. And so that's the language that came through in this reading, but it's speaking much more to a dynamic that you can just see. You can see it on social media. You can see it, in your immediate circle, maybe even in yourself, about people who are trying to shift the way in which they lead their lives, and specifically how they earn their money, to grow more abundant and to have a much freer experience of that. So let's keep going. We got Eight of Cups, depletion. Yeah. We have got Ace of Cups, ecstasy. We've got a Ace of Pentacles, manifestation. Look at that. Look at that. I tell you. And then we've got a Three of Cups with compassion. Love it. Love it. These are all the things that all things that I love. So when I looked at this Eight of Cups card, I heard a quote from Tupac from the song Keep Your Head Up. And he said, the old ways aren't working, so it's on us to do what we gotta do to survive. And that's what it is. The old ways are not working anymore. And when you see all of these whales, to me, it is speaking about, of course, nature and animals. We are experiencing environmental degradation to a level that we have never known. Species extinctions in percentages that are insane. So it is more than just humanity, but even us. So at a collective level, our current way of living is not working. It is failing us. However, we have here the Ace of Cups, and we have two aces actually. So it's talking about a new beginning, and this new beginning is showing up also in Taurus energy through the individual, which is also how the collective planets work. When you have Uranus energy, for example, these collective planets bring through a lot of change and a lot of transformation over the collective, but they work one individual at a time. And we are in the same kind of groups, right? So a lot of us, Uranus is in a sign for about 7 years or so. So a lot of us will have the same Uranus. Even more will have the same Neptune sign. Even more will have the same Pluto sign. So it does speak to large groups, but each and every single one is affected individually. We all change, and this is talking about changing on the inside, doing a deep, profound transformation on the inside that we then realize and manifest. You see how her eyes are closed? This is shifting her awareness. This is shifting her feelings. This is shifting how life feels on the inside. And then boom, waking up and having a different look in your eyes, a different way of looking at the world, but also a different look in them. A lot more a much more natural look in the sense of your spiritual nature, your soul nature. Look at that power in that. And this is something that manifests. It's something that becomes real. We look at the world in a different way. We go about things in the world in a different way, and we work with so much more compassion. And compassion in this instance is talking about finding a way to live where we can all be there together. I come from the Democratic Republic of Congo. So pretty much everyone in the world, trigger warning by the way, but everyone in the world will have minerals from Congo in their phone, in their computer. And it has cost my country war and, deaths to the tune of millions. And actually I was going to talk about worse things, but I really don't want to in this energy. It does not feel good at all. So we don't need that. But basically, everyone in the world is consciously or unconsciously participating in or benefiting from the war and the deaths that are happening in the Congo. It is the way that it is, but it doesn't need to be the way that it is going to be. And there's a company, for example, called Fairphone that makes phones that use clean materials in them. And there's so many things that are coming up now, but that's basically what Spirit is speaking to. It is speaking to not in terms of guilt and saying, don't do this or you're bad for doing this. It's talking about a potential. There's a potential for a different way of life that we are here to discover, and we're here to co-create it. And it is larger than we usually think of in spiritual circles. Let's keep going. We've got Crow Woman, Major Arcana number 8. I think I put them upside down, didn't I? We've got 3 of Pentacles. Works. We have got Major Arcana number 21, Gaia energy coming through. Hello, Mama. And we've got the 8 of Swords with Confusion. So, with the Crow Woman, we are in Libra energy, karmic energy, and the sacred balance of things, sacred law. Everything is connected, and everything how do I put this, is you can't undo things. Karma doesn't work where we say, well, I didn't know that was going on. That's not how karma works. We participate in it. And this is talking about how we are living in times where the planet has become a gigantic karma factory. You buy clothes, or we buy clothes, for example, that have been made by children, that have been made by people who are not even being paid what they need or paid at all, enslaved, and so on and so forth. And we participate in that. That's the karma of it all. If there was, there's a lot of people who are very much into conspiracy and aliens here, aliens there, and so on. Forget that. if you would want to control humanity, set up our system the way it is. We are living in a gigantic negative karma factory. A bottle of plastic takes 1,000 years to decompose naturally. If you throw out a bottle of plastic in nature, that's 1,000 years of karma. How many lifetimes and reincarnations is that? That's wild. That's absolutely wild to think about. And that's what spirit is saying. But again, it's not about guilting, it's about taking this on, going to work and start working at things in a different way. And with that, you're going to be in alignment with the energy of Gaia, because our awakening is Gaia's awakening. Humanity is at one with Gaia. We're not separate from Gaia. So Gaia is the one who's awakening, the being who's awakening into a higher level of consciousness. And we are along for the ride because we are a part of her, right? So doing this work, going in this direction, is feeding into the direction of the evolution happening on the planet. But at the same time, it is also how do I put this? It's incredibly supported by those energies and by that direction and by this timing. It's karmically right. It is productive, actually, at a just basic human level. It's productive, and it's also supported by Gaia's energy. And the confusion card is talking about, it just takes something that is about it's like a resistance to uncertainty, the willingness not to know how to do it and how to go about it. It's not mapped. The road isn't mapped. Moon in Sagittarius, we don't know what society is going to look like when everybody does what they want to do for a living, right? What does a society look like without slave labor, without oppression, without, benefiting from others, without them benefiting also, right? We don't know that, and that's the confusion, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't find out. I would say, and certainly spirit would say, and spirit wouldn't even say we should find out. Spirit is saying you're on your way. The rocket is launched. It's like sitting in the rocket and going like, oh, I don't want to go. Well, it's already launched. We're already on our way. Uranus has been in Taurus for quite a while, doing some beautiful work. We've got some big astrological shifts happening in 2024, 2025. It's underway. We're in it. You're in it. So let's see. We've got major arcana number 5, wise woman Sophia. We've got the 5 of Pentacles, earth manipulation. Yeah, we've got the Ace of Wands, and we've got the Queen of Pentacles with birth, mother of birth. So what I'm getting here is a message that Spirit is saying, look. It's about this is the next horizon for spiritual seekers. This is what we are going to be doing next as a group. So usually when people were growing and evolving spiritually, we would go off to ashrams and nunneries, and we would retire from society basically. And that's also what spiritual teachings and even religions would teach people, to retire in order to find God and to be with God, because that was the dynamics right then and there. But in this era, and that's the sacred revolution. In this era, we are evolving and growing spiritually within society, within these bonds, within these dynamics, within the proverbial karma mill. However, that means that we're going to encounter different kinds of ties and bonds and manipulations. And one of the things that is coming through very clearly is this, again, notion of how it is de facto like this. I've done a lot of research on this, obviously, because it's something that I'm passionate about. But for example, if you're going to buy a computer, you go and look at how they manufactured it. And again, there's so much information on this. There's something called I forget the names, but there are directories that tell you about what brands are cleaner and better than others, and so on and so forth. But that's what it's going to be. It's better, right? I was looking for a computer, and I was looking at the different brands. And basically the choice was, well, who doesn't have human rights violations? So already that eliminated a whole bunch of brands. Who doesn't have money in armaments? Eliminated a bunch of brands. So that's the thing. The choice de facto can be that when you buy a computer, you're putting your money into weapons, you're putting your money into human rights violations, you're putting your money into environmental degradation de facto, per definition. And so that's the situation and that's the circumstance. But you don't come into it with this Ace of Fire, third ace, by the way. it's there's a new energy here that wants to do things in a different way, and that new energy is going to manifest itself. It's going to find the means to manifest itself, so you don't have to be confused about how to do it. It really does come together. And of course, maybe there are some compromises to make at some level and some moments, prioritizing things in different ways, but that's all about the it's all part of the process of birthing the new. And you're coming in here very much as a pioneer, as someone who is part of this movement and of change and transformation, and ushering in a new way of doing things, a new way of going about things, a realignment. Also I would say like a coming back to our senses. Because it's not sustainable. That's the thing, it's not sustainable. And this is a necessary shift, but not everybody's going to make that shift, because I will tell you one thing that I've noticed is that it does take a lot of wisdom. It does take the ability to not be with the latest fad or the most fashionable brand, or to go without a lot of things that look super pretty on social media, and everybody has them and things like that. Now I am exaggerating, but to some level, it's one of the biggest contributors to, well, not biggest, but a big contributor to climate change is the meat industry, for example, right? But when you're talking about not eating meat, people have such visceral responses and experiences, as I used to once back in the day, and that's part of it. But when you've done spiritual work, when you have done this work of growth and evolution, you can handle it in a completely different way. And I feel like that's why spiritual seekers are being called to this task. The universe is so practical because we are more equipped to it. We're more equipped to making these changes and these transformations because we can handle the attachments and these dynamics in a different way. You may not have been aware that that's part of why you were doing the work that you've been doing. You've been working on yourself, and Spirit is telling you with this reading, it's partly for this. I need you. You're needed to help make this change. You needed to help society, humanity shift. Just change tracks. Change already will be good, actually. A real departure. So let's keep going. We've got frequency shift. Well, there you go. Well, there you go. We've got divinity. Yay. Ah, there you are. And we've got the violet flame. Exactly what I've been saying. Okay, so frequency shift is talking about, I feel like this is a calling in your life. If you're here, it is a calling in your life. It's something that you've been growing more or less aware of. Now, this is the way that it's coming through for me a lot about sustainability, a lot about ethical shopping, ethical productivity also as a business owner. But I'm really seeing this thing where it shocks me to my core, and that's the divinity. That's who we are. We just have a different sensibility, and it takes a different sensibility in these times to be able to notice this and to mind enough to do something about it. It shocks me so much when you go on a website and there's a business and they're so happy about what they're doing for the environment, and they're very happy to tell you, right? It is communication and marketing. So they're like, we do this for the environment, that for the environment, and so on and so forth. And then I go, well, okay, but who made your products and where? Not a word, not a word. And then you dig a little deeper, and it's done in ways where logically people are being exploited, and it is just absolutely, it again shocks me to my core. It offends me in some way. Offense is a choice, but it doesn't sit right with who I am in my energy. And this is a card that talks about when you read the text, it talks about having a different kind of energy than everybody else in the world, and having a different sensibility, and how that is for a purpose. And that's what Spirit is saying. What you're sensitive to, what bothers you, right? You may not get so up in arms about the things that I get up in arms about, and that's perfectly fine. It's even by design. We can scatter out. We can take different different sectors. We can handle different things, right? Put our energy into working different aspects of the human experience. So it is by design, but it is by purpose. And this is talking about, like, don't you deny that. Don't you deny what hurts your heart, what shocks your conscience, what spurs you into action, what fires up your passion. Don't you deny it. It is like that for purpose. It has a tremendous, tremendous healing potential. And this is a card that talks about the bat medicine. And bats navigate through sonar. They have their like their ears, yeah, their sound. They feel sonar. I don't actually know exactly how it works, but the point is they follow sound waves and navigate accordingly. So that's the navigational system. And that's what Spirit is saying. It's part of your healing. You've healed to have this navigational system. So to feel yourself enough that you're going to feel what shocks your conscience and so on and so forth, that you're going to feel what matters to you, and but also navigate accordingly. And when you navigate accordingly, you're going to heal yourself. So for a quick example, when I was all my life, I've eaten most of my life, I've eaten meat until 2016, right? So I was eating meat, and then I became a vegetarian, and then I realized that I actually never really liked meat. I would eat meat um, again if it's offered to me, prepared to me, but as an adult, I had never bought like a whole set of meat to prepare until the year before, like raw meat that looked like meat, where I looked at it and I was like, ooh, that's meat. Meaning I would eat pepperoni slices, I would eat hamburger thingies, I would eat meat that's been prepared and worked over so it doesn't really look like meat, like the flesh of a human being or a living being. Ooh, um, and then I realized, oh, I don't actually like meat. I've just been used to doing it and I've just been conditioned. And so letting it go was something that was very healing for me because it was aligning me with who I really am, with how I really work and function. It was natural for me. And that's what Spirit is speaking to. That's incredibly healing, to return into alignment with what is natural for you. And so we have got Golden Orange Dragon. Expands your light for ascension. Be a peaceful warrior. Help those in need. Remember your magnificence. Oh, I love that. And we've got Kuan Yin's Pink Dragon. Brings firm love that resets your karmic balance. See all your cords dissolved by transcendent love. Enjoy your freedom. Look for the divine around you. This is the next direction for ascension. This is work where the work needs to be done. And it is work that is going to bring tremendous benefit. And I love how it says brings firm love that resets your karmic balance. It is about love. And that's all it is. You know, again, karma doesn't care if you knew or didn't know, but karma does care if you are centered in love, if your intention is loving. And that's the power that we are to bring. That's the power of ascension. If we have a loving intention for ourselves, towards others, towards the world, then how we choose, how we act, how we behave, how we go about things is going to change, is going to transform. And that is the sacred revolution the Spirit wants to usher in, to bring in. The Spirit is a champion of. Let's get a final message for this reading. It really is about embodying the new. And, you know, when we embody the new, there are ways that we naturally go about things. So we have you glow, we beam, thanks. I love that. That's Spirit. Thank you. And it says, in case anyone should ask, your heart isn't so large because of your wings. It's your wings that are so large because of your heart. Sometimes loving so much can be pretty heavy. Thanks for all you've shared the universe. P.S. It's just another one of those nutty body algorithm things. Exactly. You go beam. Look, this is the task that is ahead. And it can be pretty heavy. It's not necessarily easy. But with the heart and the wings here, putting your heart into this is going to grow your wings. It's going to help you to ascend. It's the next direction, right? It's the battlefield for spiritual warfare on the planet at this time, the next direction, the next big thing. And so when we put our heart into it, we will grow and expand spiritually, like this dragon just rising up. You glow, Spirit beams. Thank you. And also we glow. We come into our glow. We come into our spiritual energy, and then we collectively can beam. This is beautiful. There's so many layers to this, so much meaning, and it's very, very profound. So I would love to hear how you heard this reading, how you received it, what you think of it. I would love for you to drop me a line. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in my work, which does speak to this in many ways and will more as we go along, then you can check that out in the description box. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this reading, because more will be coming. And as always, I'm sending you lots of love, thanking you for your time and your attention, and I will be seeing you around. Bye bye, love.